Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be recreating this style that you saw on the thumbnail, and I'm just trying to, for the black fabric I am using crepe. I'm just trying to locate the front and the back for it, and you can see the way I am folding my fabric. We are folding it into four so that we can cut the back and the front bodies together. And then once I am done, the fabric will be folded into four, and I have extra for my zipper allowance. So if this is your first time of stopping by on this channel, please do well to hit on subscribe button. Thank you for joining us today, and if you find value in this video, please give me a thumbs up. So we are supposed to be starting from the center front to mark this, and you can see the mistake I made. I almost forgot what I was doing. So for my neckline, I marked the width for 2.75 inches, and then for the depth I have 3 inches for the front neckline. And then for the back neckline, I went down by 1 inch, and I connected it to the neck depth. So I'm going to go ahead and mark half of my shoulder measurement. I remember the shoulder measure, our marking is starting from the center front, and then I'm going to be placing my tape from the center point, from the starting point, sorry, and I'll mark my bust point, which is at 8 inches, and this style is going to be for a 7-year-old. In fact, these days it's like I mix more of 7 and 6 years old styles. But what you have to do is to take your measurement of your child, the same method, just insert your measurement where your own measurement where necessary. So I'll go ahead and connect my shoulder measurement to miss my bust point. And the next thing I did is to mark my shoulder slope at 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to my starting point. Sometimes I reduce this 1 inch to 0.75. Once I am done with that, I'll go ahead and connect my bust point. So what we are just doing is to mark our basic bodies. Then I added 1.5 inches stitching allowance, and my bust measurement, remember, is divided into 4 before I marked it. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I'll connect my armhole for my armhole curve. I'll connect my curve for my armhole. Still placing my tape at the starting point, I'm going to go ahead and mark my half length plus 1 inch stitching allowance. So my half length is 13 inches plus 1, that's 14 inches. That's what I marked. And I'll connect the line so that you guys can see what we are doing. So once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and measure my waistline divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches stitching allowance, and then I'll go ahead and connect it to our bust point. And that's the basic bodice that we are trying to cut out. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please do well to hit on the subscribe button, join the family. And to my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. You guys know I appreciate it, and I love you all. Thank you. And if you notice, you see that I cut out my back neckline first before I will go ahead and cut out the front one. So this is what we have. So I've gone ahead to cut out all my lining pieces for this, and I am using the normal lining today. So before we continue, we are going to go ahead and take out ½ inch from the center back. So this is the back. I just took out ½ inch on this. See the way I slanted it to meet our seam side. Please go ahead and do the same. So once we are done with this, we are going to go ahead and bring in my bodice. This is my main bodice. Because the fabrics are the same color, you won't know the main bodice, but for me, I know what I'm doing. So this is my main bodice. I'll go ahead and do front facing front for the back and the front, and I'll pin my shoulders down. So we are going to be working on the shoulders first today. So I'll pin my 2 shoulders down, and then go to my sewing machine and stitch it down by ½ inch. And I'll do the same thing for my lining. So this is what we have after I am done with this. I think I prefer this method so that the armhole is easier for us to stitch. So for the ruffle on the shoulder, I have this fabric of about 22 inches, and then for the width of it, I have about 7 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold this into 2 from the wrong side, and then I'll stitch it down at the 2 ends, and I'll do the same thing for the other piece. So I just decided to add my a twist from the one I am copying. So I decided to attach some ruffle at around the bust point. So for the width of it, I have 3 inches, and then for the length, I also have 22 inches. So I'll fold it front facing front, and then stitch it all the way from one end to the other, and then turn it inside out. Once I turn it inside out, I'll stop stitch that the place I turned it from. So this is what we have. So you're going to be going ahead and attach this. I attach this around the bust area. So when you attach, you can make your marking before you start attaching it. So when you are turning it around, just make sure you are plating it so that is not is well laid. If you don't plate it, you will find it difficult to attach this all around. So you're attaching, you plate it, you make small plates to it to get it properly. Then for the ruffle, the piece on the ruffle area, I've turned it to the right side. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it together to get the center of that piece I'm going to be using for my ruffle. I'll make a notch there. Then I'll take it and place it on my shoulder area. So this is the correct way to place it. The way I place it now, this is the correct way to place it. So the first thing I'll do is to pin at my shoulder area, at my shoulder line. Then from that shoulder line, I measured 4 inches downward on both sides of the armhole. As I came back to the what I was doing, I turned it to the wrong side. In fact, I don't know what I was thinking, but I changed it. So the first placement is the right way to place it. So I marked the 4 inches downward. I'll plate this side at this place, and then also 4 inches the other side, and then I'll plate it at the other side. So let's cut out the piece that it looks like a flower like stuff. For the width of it, I marked about 4 inches, and then I added 1 inch stitching allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this tape so that we'll get the center of this what I just marked. And the reason for marking that is that I divided my front bodies into 4. So one part of it is what I marked plus 1 inch, and then for the length of this I marked at 5 inches or 6 inches if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead and join these 2 points together. I just hope you guys will understand what I am saying. I don't know if I'm rushing too much. So I'll go ahead and connect the point at this side, and then connect the other one at the starting point. Just make sure it's not too slanted so that it's not too pointy. And I'll go ahead and cut this out. So once I am done with this, I use it to cut out about 20 pieces, no, about 16 pieces. Is it 16? I think so. 8 times 2 is 16, right? So I cut out 16 pieces. So I'll go ahead and use one of it. So one is going to be served as lining, and then one is going to be the main fabric. I used one to turn it to the right side, and then I went ahead to iron all of them down. So moving on to the bodice, I'll bring in my lining. Remember that what I did to my main fabric is what I did to my lining. That's joining the shoulder. So once I bring my lining, I'll first of all match the 2 shoulder seam line, pin it down. And before I start pinning every side of the neckline, so I'll be pinning the front. And once I am done pinning the front, I'll pin the back as well. Once I am done pinning this down, I'll go to my sewing machine and then stitch it down. So once I am done, you can see how it is. I'll go ahead and make notches around the neckline for it to be easier for us to turn. Then for the armhole, I'm going to go ahead and move my ruffle inward, and then I'll match the two shoulder line, is it shoulder line, yes, together as well. And then I'll pin every other side of the armhole all the way down. I'll do the same thing for the other side of the armhole, and then I'll stitch it down by 1/2 inch. So this is it. Once I am done, I'll also make notches around it, and then pull it out on both sides of the armhole. So this is what we have after we are done pulling it out. I'm just going to go ahead and make do front facing front and then stitch by 1.5 inches that we added for the seam allowance. So this is the fabric for our gathers. I took out the my half length measurement, measured the remaining one, and then added 2 inches allowance. So the first thing I'm going to do is to fold this in by 1.5 inches. The remaining half inch, I'm going to be using it to attach the body. Then I'll run a loose stitch and then gather the upper side of it. So this is the bodice after we are done. You can see it is coming together. And then I'll bring in all these pieces, cone like pieces that we did. I'm sorry that you can't see it. The fabrics are so black. So what I am going to be doing is I will place 4 of this piece on my center front and then place 2 at each side of my back. I hope you understand this. Then I'll go ahead and start pinning this down. But if you're making for a bigger child, just make sure that you measure and know how many you are going to be placing at the center front and also at the back pieces. So once this is it, after I was done pinning it down, you can see it. You guys can see because it's black, but I'm just trying to show you guys. Then I'll bring in my other fabric and you can see I'm done folding this, hemming it as well, and then gathering it. And I also, as you know, you don't need to gather your zipper allowance so that it's not too bulky. So I'm going to be doing front facing front, and then I'll stitch it by 1/2 inch all the way through to the end. So this is it after I was done. Is coming together and giving what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to give. This is what the front looks like, and then this is the back. This is what it looks like. See, we have 2 at both sides of the back, and this is not supposed to extend to your zipper allowance so that it's easier for you to attach your zipper. And then this is the inside, how it looks. You can go ahead and search this. So the next thing I will do is to close up my zipper allowance and attach my zipper, and that's all for this style. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel up to this moment, do well to hit on the subscribe button, join the family, and share my videos to family and friends. I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.